All right, welcome back to another episode of The Scout Life, episode 7. So thanks for bearing with me on a couple of the trips. And I've watched, actually, I was at my brother's house and we were watching an episode of The Scout Life on a big screen, and I'm only used to watching it on a phone. So I'm going to change some things about how I edit. But anyway, welcome to The Scout Life. Today, we are back on the 75. I know we've been talking about a couple major things. Doors and windows, that is still a major issue. I have a vibration above 60. I want to take care of that. But a new issue has emerged. So this truck is out on the West Coast, and I've discovered like more surface rust emerging only in the 2 months that it's been here. So I have to get the paint protected. So we're gonna walk through buffing out the paint. So like polishing, buffing, or buffing, polishing, and protecting. So thanks for joining me. Let's go to the car wash and get this thing washed first. Okay, so I wanted to do this with like readily available stuff, because at our shop in Iowa, we have like professional grade compounds and polishes and stuff like that, but not everyone has access to that stuff, and it's kind of a pain to get. So I wanted to work with off-the-shelf parts. So hit up my local auto parts store and scored some interesting stuff. First, here's a product called from Meguiar's, which is a trusted brand. You can pretty much trust them for anything, really. But it's an iron removing spray clay. So this removes the iron oxide out of the paint, and I'm guessing that might be where you see little rust spots. So I'm gonna try it. So the application on this is spray it on the whole vehicle, let it sit for 2 to 3 minutes, don't let it dry, rinse it off. So we're gonna start with that. Then I'm gonna wash it. Then we'll clay it. Then we'll use a polishing compound, which is, maybe we need something a little heavier, but I'm really nervous about removing paint. So I'll walk you through that. But then we're gonna try a polishing compound, a cleaner wax, which I'm not sure which one we use first. Then I'm gonna try this stuff here. So it's kind of like a ceramic graphene hybrid product. So I don't know about it, but it looks pretty cool. And it says it's compatible with traditional waxes. So we're gonna give this a shot. We'll do that back at the shop. For now, we're just gonna wash her up after I spray it with this. So it's really interesting. The paint definitely feels smoother. So this is called a iron removing spray clay. So it did work, dude. It feels smoother to the touch, and like, not all, but some of the rust spots turned more black in color than rust in color. So I'm gonna look into this product a little more, because I've never seen it before. So anyway, kind of interesting. I'm gonna dry it off. I'm just gonna give a video walk around. See, the paint is good. It's very thin. We'll talk about that. These thin spots here. Here you can see kind of the haze in the paint. Overall, it's remarkable that it's, 46-year-old paint. This truck has been repainted on the back, so that's a little bit, the color match is not bad, but I plan to replace that corner cap on the other side that we just walked by. But we'll do the same walk around at the end after I get it all polished out. But what I'm most concerned about are these little spots where there's like, these are all little surface rust spots. So I'm hoping that when we get some coating on there, that those will go away and be protected. All right, let's go back to the shop. So this stuff, I'm really captivated by this spray clay. It made a big difference in the field. I'm gonna see if we can reapply it and just show you what it does, because I was acting kind of quickly, because maybe I shouldn't have done all of it at once. But anyway, check this out. So as you can see, I'm gonna zoom in here a little bit. So you see like these little brown spots. So we're gonna spray it. Watch what it does. I've already sprayed it once, and we may not, but if you can see, it's actually starting to drip. See how it's starting to like drip out of those areas? I'm gonna be careful not to let it dry. Yeah, it's really interesting. I'm gonna do a little research on rust oxide, or iron oxide, sorry. I think it's just rust. But it also has something to do with contaminants, because it definitely feels smoother to the touch. But anyway, kind of interesting. So yeah, so they're less, they're just a little less rust colored, but we'll see. I'm just gonna go through the process of claying it now. Okay, so just before we start, I'm not like 100% sure if I'm gonna just have you watch me polish the whole thing. So we might just focus on kind of the hood and fender and maybe door, and just see kind of how it turns out, and I'll fast forward through some stuff. But anyway, so we did the iron removing spray clay. That stuff's pretty legit. I'm gonna look into this more. Next up, the clay. You don't have to buy it in this clay kit, but I just thought it's probably cheaper to buy it not like this, but I was just lazy. Okay, so step one was wash it. We used this spray clay. Step two is, after you dry it, is tape your edges. We don't want to burn through our edges, so I'm literally gonna come through. Now this is more, I'm doing it by hand, so maybe I don't have to be so careful. But it's worth it. Also, when I get to the actual polishing part, I'll tape off the front of the top edge of the wood grain decal, because we don't want to get that all filled with wax. So just work in small, manageable sections. So I'm going to focus on this section of the hood and probably the top of the fender, and then this part of the fender in each portion. So this is just quick detailer and detailing clay. If you've never seen or used this product, it's a miracle. And the quick detailer really just serves as kind of a lubricant. You can really feel a difference. And this, with the clay, I find you don't have to be crazy careful about it, because it doesn't have a lot of abrasion, like abrasives in it, so it doesn't like take a lot of paint off. But as you can see, definitely it's starting to pick up some contaminants, and that's what its job is. Then you just wipe that clean. Yeah, it feels better. This is also another good time just to kind of get acquainted with your Scout. Again, like I've talked about in previous episodes, this thing needs a lot of work. But the paint to me is like one of those things that you can't get back. It's really hard to, you can never get it back if it goes away. So I valued this project higher than fixing the doors and windows, because I don't want to mess it up. So anyway, that's pretty good. Again, I'm just gonna keep walking through, then I'm gonna do the whole vehicle today. But I don't want to bore you. Okay, so I got the hood, fenders, all clayed. It feels great. It doesn't look much better, but it feels much better. Another bummer is like the truck is still hot from driving it, and it's really best to do this when it's cold. And huge disclaimer, I'm not a detail specialist. So if there are those of you out there with more experience in this kind of stuff, great. I'm not claiming to be an expert. We're just trying some off-the-shelf products to protect our paint and make it a little more shiny and less, I'm less concerned about being shiny, more concerned about it just having some protection. And we'll see. I kind of have a rhythm of washing it and seeing how it's holding up. And I think it's going to be much better from my experience of doing this on 10 trucks or so. It definitely makes a longevity difference. Again, I don't have all the cool materials and tools here. This is off-the-shelf auto parts store stuff. So next up, we're going to try this cleaner wax. I'm just going to do it in small little sections because the hood is warm and I don't want to make my life miserable. I'm also doing this without machines. At the shop, we do it with buffing machines. But again, most of you don't want to go out and buy a buffing machine to do your truck once. So, all right, let's do it. All right, so here is the cleaner wax. You could use a actual rubbing compound, but I'm nervous about taking too much paint off, so I'm not going to do that. This is slightly damp, and I'm going to take the safety peel off. Again, watch your edges. I'm gonna stay off this ridge line on the hood because you can already see the primer through it. And I'm just gonna work in a small area to start. Let's see. With each of these coats of product, you should start to see the paint start to come back, like the luster of the paint start to come back. So that'll be the goal. Directions say allow to dry. So since that is the case, I'm going to push on and do this whole section of the hood. And I find it's best to be a little generous. And again, this might not be, a friend of mine that does this a lot, he likes to wet sand, and I do too. You could do like a 2000 wet sand, and I may come back and do that. So I'm not sure that this cleaner wax is going to be aggressive enough to take the actual, to bring the shine back, You can already see that's paint, and that's kind of a good sign. I mean, if it was new, it would be a bad sign. I'm probably gonna actually wipe this. Then I'm gonna take a dry microfiber. Make sure you have plenty of these. And definitely reuse them. And I may do this again because this is like in my opinion, like one of the most important phases to getting the shine back. And again, a polishing machine or I don't know, like just a buffing machine is really nice. They even have small pneumatic ones that we like to use at the shop, and those work great. I don't have an air compressor. And most of you guys maybe don't either. Can you see that? Wow. Dude, it looks good. It's a big difference, man. I'm gonna actually do it again. But for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and hit this side, hit the whole hood, and then I'll come back and do this all twice. you can see and feel the hydration coming back to the paint. It's a good workout too, but try to mix up the arms. I got this jacked finger. A little bit tough, but it's coming good. All right, wow, look at that. It's coming out awesome, and that's still just cleaner wax. So what I think I want to do for dramatic effect is we're gonna just keep going on this side, and then I'll just do that side later. But we'll keep leaning in to see how shiny and protected we can get this side. And we'll keep this side as is. All right, let's move on. So that was 2 coats, 2 applications of cleaner wax. Apply with a damp microfiber, wipe with a dry one, and we let it dry. Next up, McGuire's polishing compound, a little finer. This is made to get swirl marks and stuff out. We'll change our application rag, and we'll get a new cleaning rag. This is the polishing compound. We're gonna repeat the same process on this side of the hood. And we let it dry for about 2 minutes, and we'll buff off. So this one I just noticed compared to the cleaner wax is actually harder to get off. That kind of stinks. So I'm just gonna keep working at it. Maybe I won't let it dry as much. Okay, so news flash. That's why you gotta read the directions. The cleaner wax wanted you, it said allow to dry. This product clearly says do not allow to dry. So, dang. So I'm just gonna reapply it. Rather than sit here and buff at this all day, I'm just gonna reapply another coat and just wipe it off as I go. Okay, just a quick note, and if you're gonna follow this process, this polishing compound is really hard to work with. If you let it dry at all, it's like a nightmare to get off. So what I found is I apply it, then I take another damp cloth, like go right after the application, wipe it off, then the third one and dry it off. But other than that, man, this is tiring. But I'm gonna keep going on the process, trust the process, and then we'll get ready to apply. The good thing is we're almost done on the hood and on this half of the hood and fender, so that's good. Okay, so as you can see, this is really waking up the paint. That polish step is a little tough. Again, the technique, apply it with a damp cloth, wipe it with a damp cloth, wipe it with a dry cloth, and like a 2x2 patch. This is similar, this Hybrid Solutions Pro. I've never heard of this stuff before, but it was kind of the most expensive stuff on the shelf, and I've heard of this graphene stuff before. So I think it's gonna be pretty good. And time will tell, I'll report back. This is work in a small 2x2 section. Apply with the damp cloth, wipe with the damp cloth, wipe with the dry cloth. So we'll see, and this is our final phase on the half of the hood and a fender, and then we'll just keep going. I'll be here for a few hours more. Getting tired. All right, next time you see this truck, I'll be all done. I finished all the hood, fenders, and grill. I have to do the doors, quarters, back half of the truck. I'm gonna just keep working into the night. And next time you see the truck, I'll be pulling out of this shop. Okay, so final step. And it says, like, make sure that this does not polish at all. It'll make it shiny, but it won't take any of the haze out. So I'm happy with how this is. Could it be better? Yes. If we had a machine, 100% we can make this shinier. But making it crazy shiny is not super important to me. Just getting it protected is most important. So I'm looking for even protection, even shine. I'm just gonna start a little bit small. This does say to let it dry. So we'll apply it. Let it dry to a haze. Also, so I think next video is between the doors and the drive shaft / vibration. I have some vibration over 60. I don't know if it's the tires or drive shafts. I might do it all, or vent axle shaft. And those doors and windows are super annoying. So the tailgate's holding up great. Tailgate's awesome. Okay, that's about to a haze. Take our second damp cloth. This stuff is much easier than that polishing compound. And then follow up immediately with a dry, clean microfiber. Woo, that feels good. All right, so that is it. Let me pull this off. It's weird because it's like, this is what it used to look like. And I thought it was like, oh, it looks pretty good. So, big difference. Now let's just do the rest of the truck. All right, I got this side 2 coated. And I was digging through my detailing supplies and I found this ultimate compound. It's pretty similar to the cleaner wax. So listen, really quick. I quit using the polishing compound. It was just super streaky. I think you need more of like a buffing wheel or some kind of machine to get the results out of it. If you've had experience with the 3M polishing compound that we've used in the past, albeit with the machine, is much different. This stuff's real streaky and it's impossible to get off, so I stopped using it. But you can comment and let me know if you've had experience with this and how you've used it and how you've had success. So as for now, I just did 2 hits of this, 2 hits of this, and now I'm on to the final step. And again, guys, it's not perfect. It looks a heck of a lot better, and I'm confident, and we'll see over the next coming weeks as I continue to wash it, and because I do have to park it outside. We'll see how it holds up, and I wash it really closely. But again, looking for protection and just cleaning and crisping it up. So I'm gonna put the final coat on this side, jump onto the other side. There she is, man. I should have done a walk around polish job, pre-polish job shot. Looks pretty great. And more importantly, I'm just excited for the old girl. She's gonna be protected. see the paint's thin, but that's why I was kind of careful. I really didn't want to use a compound. Well, we'll wrap it up. Well, there she is, man. Thanks again for joining us on another episode of the Scout Life. Thanks for watching. I know these videos are not like great, like finely produced, or I don't know if they're even entertaining, but hopefully they're insightful a little bit, and you can be inspired to tackle your own projects on your Scout and take care of your Scout. So what did we like? What did we not like? I like the graphene stuff, the actual wax or vinyl coat. I like that stuff. They have a spray version for maintenance. I'm gonna go get that and kind of keep up on it, and I'll report back with you guys. Did not like the Meguiar's polish. That stuff was kind of terrible to work with. No good. What would I do different? Maybe a little strategic 2000 grit wet sanding. Number one. Number two, maybe a little like a rubbing compound. Very light, but again, I didn't want to take a lot of paint. The paint's so thin, I didn't want to take more paint off. Anyway, until next time, we'll do something cool on the 75. I also have some stuff to do on the SS2 clone. Got to do a pinion seal and some carb adjustment. I have another fun 1980 four-cylinder project that I'm going to do some work on, and I have a really cool 1976 Scout Traveler that we're going to be going over. Doing some carb work. I'll kind of walk you through everything we're going to do. Anyway, sounds great. Thanks for joining. Talk to you next time. Dude, a little addendum on the Scout Life polishing video. Of course, we're like in Southern California and it never rains here. But of course, as soon as I wax and treat the old Scout, sure enough, it starts raining. But at least it's protected and the water's beating up real nice, man. So I'm stoked. Send me pics when you polish yours up.